Hey guys, just going for a little flight with Quinn. He hasn't flown in a little while. Got 49.6 hours. We need 0.4 and he'll have 50 hours.
Yep. Alright. Taking off.
You are good to go.
Alright, full power.
Well, pressure, oil temperature are good. RPMs are good.
It's 50, 55, slow rotation.
Morning, it's a job, Sky 3, jumpers away, skydiving in progress over, Fort Atkinson.
And we climb out at what speed?
That's 68.
Yeah, 68, 67, somewhere in there. Yeah, we haven't been making a lot of videos lately. Trying to think of something interesting to do. You know, I don't like making videos just random flying around, although a lot of channels exist that do that. We always try and do something special, or at least have a topic, but, you know, Quinn breaking 50 hours, that's kind of our topic for today, right?
Yep.
Take some video with my phone as well to kind of show people the different views. So, yeah, it's a beautiful day today. I think it's just high 70s in Chicago. We had a really hot June and part of July, and now it's like in the 70s every day in August. It's just bizarre. We got Quinn here, who just turned 14 a few days ago.
Yep.
Got his braces off. Give us a nice smile.
Yep.
Covered with your little mouthpiece. But, yeah, the problem with Quinn here is he's ready to fly right now, but we can't solo him for 2 more years because of the government. So he could probably solo right now. I was wondering why he was doing such a good job flying. He could land, and I looked at his logbook the other day. I'm like, you have 50 hours. I got my private at 51 hours. You better be able to fly well by now. And he does. So the old 150's doing a good job. We talked about some other airplanes we were looking at. We got lots of them. We like them all, like we say, but you know, the Piper Comanche's a good one. Big plane, lots of room, right? As you grow taller,
Yep.
We'll need that room. Got a buddy of mine just bought a Piper Arrow. We might do a video on that. We're going to pick that up in Kentucky next week. Piper Arrow's a contender. Cessna 177 RG. We're thinking we want single engine, at least 135 to 140 knots, somewhere in that neighborhood, right? Quinn, hello? You with us?
Yeah. Yep. I'm just focused.
Just focused on flying?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I mean, if we go 140 knots,
King Air 6.
that would be nice. If we go a little faster, it'd be even nicer probably, right?
Yep.
The retractable gear gets tough, though, because this guy's got to do all the solo cross countries and a bunch of stuff, and the retracts just kind of eliminate a bunch of those. We could do a 182, you know, then you go 130 knots, maybe 135, and he can get insured on it, so that's a possibility, too.
Yep.
That's what's going on. I'll do a little forward camera here to show you what the view is out front.
Traffic close.
Alright. Going there.
All right, guys, we're going to do some steep turns. Right now, we're just going to start out with our clearing turns.
Alright.
So all the way to east and back to north if you want, or you can turn a right-hand turn all the way to south. Whatever you want to do.
Alright, so right hand turn first. And here we go. Rudder and aileron.
All right, you got to add a touch of power. Alrighty, looking good. Can everyone see the angle out the back window? Ooh, that's a big pitch down right there. There you go. Looking better. Keep it right at 45 degrees of bank. Really keep the pitch. Keep this guy zeroed out, your vertical speed. There you go. Now you're holding it. Perfect. The big airs people make is what Quinn's doing right now. He's rolling out early. Where are you rolling out, dude?
I was rolling out of west.
No, you roll out at north.
Should have gone to north. Yep.
Now back pressure right away.
Yep.
The big airs on steep turns, you guys, people roll in and they don't put the back pressure in. Then they get low. So now you're low, you're in a steep turn, you got to fix it. Now you really got to pull some serious G's to get back. So go back to north. Let's start on a cardinal heading.
Yep.
Another big error people make on steep turns, you go to 45 degrees angle of bank, If you really hold that bank, there's only one pitch that's going to work. Then you can just work on the pitch. What people do is they go 30 to 45 to 60 to 40 to. If you keep changing that angle of bank, then the pitch is kind of constantly changing, right? So you want to really lock in 45 solid, then you just try and find the pitch. Don't vary the bank, right? And then when you roll out, obviously, you got to get rid of that back pressure or you'll go straight up. All right, so try one to the left now. We're on a heading in north.
All right.
We'll go to the left.
All right, rudder and aileron all the way to 45 degrees. Back pressure immediately. There's
Yep.
a little too much there.
Right up to 45, back pressure.
45, back pressure.
That's looking good, man. All right, keep after it. Another error people make is they go halfway around perfect, and then the second half they drop the nose like you're doing right now. See that? But you didn't lose 20 feet. Nice, kid, nice. 45 degrees, coming around. Watch that pitch.
And,
Watch that pitch.
here.
Rudder and aileron, roll out. Nice. All right, we'll try and get a video of that. I'll take one with my phone now, you guys. You can see the version of him actually doing it. Did a pretty nice job holding his altitude. So we'll give you a better view this time. We'll do one more steep turn. I'll let you see it. All right, so that was our steep turn. Pretty good job. It's actually a little bumpy today. So it rolled out a little premature on heading, but pretty close and right on altitude. So that's private pilot standards. That's pretty good. Kid's 14 years old. I don't know what we're supposed to do for the next 2 years, Mr. FAA, whoever you are. Like, we're going to get bored. We can only do so many stalls in slow flight, but and steep turns.
Yep.
We could fail your engine.
Good.
That's always a trip. What would you do if you if I failed your engine?
I'll look for a field. There's fields all around. I would get to the perfect glide slope.
The speed, right? You're trying to say the speed.
Speed, yeah, that's what I meant.
No, you lose your engine. First thing you do is airspeed. Right? So you're going to hold altitude, so you get 60 knots, which is the best glide. And then you're going to start a 60-knot descent. Then you're going to find a field and make a plan to get to that field. Then we're going to try and fix the plane. 90% of the time, if a person in a single-engine plane loses an engine, it's for what?
For they ran out of fuel or they did not switch their fuel tanks.
It's a fuel problem. You can just say that. It covers everything. Yeah, it's a fuel problem. So then we have a flow. Start down here in the lower left, primer and locked. And we do mags on both, carb heat on. Maybe the problem is, get carburetor ice messing up our carburetor. Come across mixture rich, maybe you were up at altitude, leaned out, you forgot to bring it forward, that could fix it. You come down, on some planes you could switch tanks. There's some people that run out of gas, they got a full gas tank on the other wing. So you do a little flow, you try and get the engine started, right? If that doesn't work, your last frequency, if you're talking to a tower, center, or some approach control, or you can do the emergency frequency, 121.5. Mayday, 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 Cessna 63154's engine failure going down in a field 2 miles south of Woodstock. Squawk 7700, emergency. And then the last thing you do is secure the airplane. Got to be mags off, mixture lean, fuel off. You want to turn off all the electricity and the fuel that you can to lessen the chance of a fire, right? You don't want to turn off the master because in this airplane, the flaps are controlled by electricity. So the last thing you're going to do when you get your final flap setting, you turn off the master. Now you've turned off all fuel and electricity. Then you pop the doors open. If the airplane hits real hard, you don't want it to hit down and crunch and pinch your doors in and you can't get out, right?
Yep.
Then you make a beautiful landing in a cornfield or a bean field, hopefully along the rows, into the wind. And that's your emergency, right?
Yep.
We could land, there's Huntley High School, we could land right in the football field. That's where Quinn's supposed to be going to high school here in a couple months, but now it's going to be an online learning experience, which we're, super great. All right, let's turn left over to east, how about? How you feeling? You haven't flown in a while. You still feeling good?
I mean, I haven't flown in a while. I haven't practiced these maneuvers in a long while, so, but I'm feeling pretty good.
He's been playing a lot of Fortnite with this blonde girl who lives in South Carolina. Anyway. So, what else, man? We should go back and shoot some landings. When's the last time you land this thing? It's been a month.
It's been a month.
So we're going to do that. You know what? I'll throw the GoPro out on the wing, too, and we'll try and get some wing shots. And we have a video coming up. We're having a little fly-in here at our local airport. We're going to have an accuracy landing contest, power-off approach, landing on a spot, and we have a bomb drop that Quinn and I are going to do. We have little bags of flour that we drop out and try and hit on a target from like 500 feet. So a little fun event at our local airport. So anyways, we're going to go land, get it on the ground, and then I'll turn on the other GoPro, and we'll get a couple landings for you guys, see how the kid does. A little bit muppy today and windy, so we'll see how it goes, and he's a lot of practice. I think he can handle it. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, so we got the Boeing hat, then we got the Piper Cub hat.
Yep.
That sounds about right. Got another video I want to make. The is the 737 MAX safe? Spoiler alert, it is. But that'll be a video down the road if I start making those kind of talking videos. Let me know if you guys want some talking videos where I just kind of vlog and talk about aviation. We could do that too. All right, so we're going to set up and land here. Landings traffic, Cessna 154 is departing runway 31, remaining in the pattern. Landings. All right, let's go.
All right. All right, here we go.
All right, looking good.
All right, full power. Slow rotation.
Look at that center line, boy. I'm going to hold a clinic. You could teach half of the people that fly on YouTube how to take off on a center line. This is what I can't do when I'm flying with the girl pilots, is put my arm around their back like this. But he's my son, so I can put my arm comfortably back here. There's just nowhere to go. When I'm flying with the other guys, I'm usually clinging to the window like this so I don't invade their personal space, you know?
Lake 1 traffic.
And I'm going to talk us through this pattern, not so much for Quinn because he knows it, but kind of you guys let you know how we fly at 150 in the pattern. I always try and make it real easy no matter what plane I'm in. I take the final approach speed and I kind of add 5 knots on the base, 5 knots being the numbers. We kind of just step it down so it's easy to remember. So as soon as we level off, we pull power immediately, right? Back to 2300.
Yep.
Because if we don't, we'll go too fast, we'll never get our flaps out. All right, we're flying a pretty tight pattern right now. Okay, so midfield downwind. We'll go ahead and pull our carpet on.
Yep.
And what do we do with beam the numbers, Quinn?
I'll beam the numbers, power back to 1700 RPMs, and once we get into the white arc, we put 10 degrees of flaps.
Yep, 10 degrees of flaps, do it.
Departing the pattern to the southwest.
And then what I like to do is I go 70 here, 65 on base, and when established on final, we go 60. We do not go below 65 knots till we're established on final.
Turning left downwind, 18.
So many people get killed base to final. And what I see my students do a lot of times, they're turning base, they look at the runway, they feel like they're a little low, and they just instinctively pull back. And now they're at 50 knots, then 40, and now you're stalling out and spinning in. So what is airspeed, Quinn?
Speed is life.
Airspeed is life.
Alright. We're past the edge.
How did that work for us last time? Not so good, right? So I would have turned a little sooner.
Sooner.
So do you think we're going to be high or low?
We're going to be low.
Real low.
Add some power.
Yep, perfect. Add some power, fix it. Turn base, right?
Yep.
Little
next notch
low.
of flap. We're a little low.
Yeah, get those flaps out there though. Get our configuration right. and then turn in final. Now we go to 30 degrees of flaps.
Ooh, 60 pitch forward.
There you go.
Wow.
30 degrees of flaps and 60 knots now. You can go to 40 degrees of flaps, but you guys, in these little 150s, they're so underpowered. There's a reason they quit putting 40 flaps on the 152s. Because you end up 40 flaps so slow, so much drag, and 100 horsepower, you don't have enough power to get out of the problems you're getting yourself into, you know? All right, doing a nice job. 62 knots. It's really finesse it on the ground this time. You got the runway made, so we can brush that power off. Let's see you hold it off. Hold it off. There you go. That's a boy. Oh, like a professional. Flaps are up, carb heat off and go. Right on that center line. I got your carb heat.
Full power, 65, smooth rotation.
Oh, and just lifts off the ground.
Yep.
We've had some discussions with some other flight instructors about having the pilots do flaps. I've always done flaps with my students on touch and goes, but it is a bad habit, right? If you teach a guy in a small plane like this that it's okay on the runway in a touch and go to start grabbing and flipping things, eventually somebody's going to grab the gear by mistake, right? It's not a great practice. So crew concept, helping with the flaps, I'm kind of torn. I don't know, I think a student can handle it, but there is an argument to be made where you don't want people hitting random things on the ground, because people have retracted their gear on the rollout before. That's a real thing.
Ooh.
So every trip around the pattern, we learn something. We make adjustments. So both times we turned at our normal spot, and we ended up way low. So what are we going to do this time?
I'll turn a little earlier.
A little earlier, right?
Yep. All right, 14.
Looking for traffic. But yeah, nice feel, nice touchdown for a kid who hasn't flown in a while. Oh, and by the way, by now we've been flying for 45 minutes, so the kid officially has over 50 hours
Yes.
flying airplanes. You're at 85 knots, son.
Yep. Goodbye.
That's another error we can fix, right? Every time around, just notice that you're dropping your pitch. On your upwind and your crosswind, you're dropping your pitch. You got to keep it up. You dropped it right now, right? You know what a climb pitch looks like. In just about any small airplane, you guys, if you take the nose of that plane outside and you set it on the horizon, you're going to be climbing at the proper speed, VY. Sometimes with some small adjustments. Landings traffic, Cessna 154 is right downwind, runway 31, landings.
Beam the numbers, power back to 1700.
Yep.
And in the white arc, 1 notch flaps. We are in the white arc, so 1 notch flaps. And pitch for 70.
Yep, it's real important, you guys. If you do it every single time I beam the numbers, you do a power setting and a speed and a flap setting. If you do that every time, it gets real easy to judge to make your corrections going around. A lot of people just cowboy it in and just wing it in any old way. You could do that too. Not when you're my student. Do that after you get your license. You can play whatever you want.
So making sure we go a little earlier than the neighborhood. So maybe right about now?
Yeah, give it a shot, man. See how it works out. And what you want to do is be looking at that runway. And just as you come around on base, you'll start seeing it and ask yourself, am I high, am I low? If you look about right, put your next flap setting in there.
Flaps to 20.
Yep.
We are fast.
Not yet. So 65, right, coming in. Now turn. You don't want to turn that early. You'll undershoot like crazy. Power's kind of dropped off a little. Yeah, but we look good here. Yeah, rest your flaps. You're going to be all set, bud.
All right.
30 flaps. Do it.
Yep.
All right. 30 flaps. 60 knots. Right on that center line. Yeah, for the grand finale, maybe we'll have you land on the grass. Not right now, but. All right, we got some spectators. Make it pretty.
Start brushing the power out. Yeah.
Really get that good attitude in there when you can. Patience, my boy. Okay, flaps up, flaps up. Carpet off.
Power. And
I'm saying the words carpet off. What does that mean to you? There you go. Could we have held that off longer?
Yeah.
Yep. Landed too fast, man. Never confuse a smooth touchdown with a good landing. That's my saying. Trademark. I see a lot of guys too. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of people flying. They come in and they land just incredibly fast on all three wheels, and they're like all smiling, thinking they did a great job. People the farther they get away from flight instruction, the faster they come in and land.
Good job. It's got a 3. Jumpers away. Jumpers away.
That's a trick question I ask some of my students is how many landing gear does a tricycle gear airplane have? How many landing gear does this plane have, Quinn?
Has 2.
It has 2. The nose gear is only there so the propeller doesn't hit the ground, and so you could steer. But the nose gear is not designed to take the brunt of a landing. So if you see people landing on the nose gear, they're not doing it right. Sometimes you come in super fast, have real sharp controls, and you can control it and feel like you're landing smooth. That's not a good landing. It takes more skill to land slow.
Yep.
That's what we're about. Building up our skills, right?
Yep. I was with it.
All right, so we're going to do one more on the pavement, then we're going to land on the grass for your grand finale.
That sounds good.
I'm hoping that wing camera's still working. Boy, if that wing camera's not working, this video is going to be lousy.
Yep.
How'd that turn work last time?
Runway 3,
Yeah, we're
Pretty
well.
good. So I'd do that again. The other thing I'd say is you initiated your turn to final a little soon, and I stopped you. So judge that a little better. Just every time you come around, you make everything a little prettier until it's perfect.
All right, right about now.
There you go. Got your flaps, car Pete.
Yes, sir, traffic.
That was better, right?
Turning face to final.
All right, you want to try and land on the grass
Yep.
for fun? That'll be our final hoop-de-hoo.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're going to try and show you a grass landing. Now, there's no center line to keep your nose straight. You're just going to have to try and do the best you can, looking down the runway to keep it tracking straight. Save a little bit of rubber on my tires. 20 degrees flaps, 65. Every time it's the same. This will probably be the last one, you guys. 65 is a minimum speed here, so drop the nose a little if you have to. Landings traffic, Cessna 154's turning final, 3-1, full stop landings.
Grass.
Yep.
Spot practice.
No, it's 14-year-old kid practice.
Okay.
All right, nose coming down, 60, right?
Yep.
All right, so now we're coming. Now you can feel the power. And hold it off. Hold it off. Hold it off. We're on the grass now. You got to hold it off. Here's Dad coming in with the back pressure that should be there. Oh, look. Those gears in the air again. On grass, you really hold it off. All right. Got it.
You have the airplane.
I have the airplane. Just helping out a little expediting thing, making things more expeditious because my buddy Gary's getting ready to go. Landings traffic, Cessna 154's clear 3-1. All right.
Okay, Cessna 5054 Alpha. The
Taxis in.
landings taking runway 31
Quinn,
and
you have the airplane again.
departing to the
Yeah.
northwest. Landings.
All right. So, a lot of good landings. The funny thing is your landings started out really good, then they kind of got a little worse. And at the end, you kind of came back up a little. But that's how it goes sometimes. Everybody thinks we're practicing our accuracy landings.
I might need your assistance.
Saturday. Oh, you got it. There you go. We don't want to hit Mr. Hendrickson's car, though. And we certainly don't want to hit the left wingtip. That's where our ADSB is. So this is looking good. I think you got it. All right, a little more to the left. A little more. Slow us down, buddy. We're in a congested ramp right now. All right, forward, forward. Let you try and line us up for once. We're putting it away.
All right.
All right, now hard right rudder and right brake. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Now left rudder to straighten it out. And slow us down, slow us down. There you go. All right, well, thanks for coming along. Might have been a little boring. We'll try and edit it so it's not too bad. What do you think, Quinn? Good practice?
Yep. Yeah, come out here much more often than 1 month intervals.
Yeah, we got to fly more often, that's all. Want to say goodbye to anybody?
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.